Women have to go through periods, pregnancy, menopause, but men, they have to endure Bucky Irving on their fantasy football rosters. They've had to endure a guy who's been out since week 4. He hasn't even been eligible for the IR despite missing 6 weeks. He hasn't practiced. We don't even know what his injury is. Bucky Irving owners, this video is for you. Don't worry, this is a safe space. I'm going to give you a detailed timeline of this injury. I'm going to break down the incentives for both parties, Bucky Irving and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then finally, I'll end it with my verdict of what his fantasy football value is for the rest of the season. Should you trade him away? Should you target him? A lot of you have been requesting this, and I'm making daily videos twice a day recently to help you win your fantasy football leagues. I'm here to deliver. It all started in week 4. Marquise Bucky Irving had this play where we think that he might have injured his foot. Looked like an ankle sprain, but he actually finished the game. He actually had a 72-yard touchdown catch right after this. The following Tuesday, he reported to the team that he also had a shoulder injury that he needed to monitor. We found out from Adam Schefter that he was expected to miss at least 2 weeks with this new shoulder subluxation in addition to his sprained foot. Experts have continued to rank Bucky Irving as a top 20 or top 15 running back through this whole stretch of this injury. If you want to see where I rate Bucky Irving and the rest of the players in the NFL, by the way, they're all available at my site, fansports.com. I'm updating these rankings every single day to help you win your fantasy football league. Part of the reason for this high ranking is the Buccaneers have a great schedule down the stretch. They get Arizona, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, then Miami. First, I'm going to do a diagnostic deep dive into this injury. A shoulder subluxation is basically a partial dislocation of the shoulder. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint, so it's like the ball slips out a little bit. It feels like the shoulder falls. Sometimes it can pop back into place, sometimes it doesn't. If the shoulder continually dislocates and it's not healing naturally, then you need to do something like a torn labrum procedure. Specifically, an arthroscopic Bankart repair is common. It tightens these ligaments that have loosened from repeated dislocations, holding the shoulder's ball into its socket. One of my good buddies from high school actually tore his labrum a few times. It's a 4 to 6 month recovery, and it can repeatedly happen. You're constantly a little delicate, a little bit nervous about it. Shout out to Patrick. The Buccaneers coach just said earlier today that he needs to see that Bucky Irving can take a hit and that he's unlikely to play week 11 without a timeline for return. And here's my analysis. The Buccaneers are 6-3. They're in the worst division in football, probably the NFC South. Second place is Carolina at 5-5, and they feel lucky to have gotten 5 wins. Bucky Irving is still on a 4-year rookie deal. He has 2 years left after this year. He's only getting about $1 million per year, which is pretty low for a guy who was one of the best running backs in the NFL as a rookie. The black swan is also that he reported this injury to the team. It's likely that he has dislocated his shoulder a few times and put it back into place himself. This also explains how he was able to make a 72-yard touchdown run after this serious injury that's kept him out 6+ weeks. Both the team and Bucky Irving himself have no incentive to rush it, but this is also a guy who wants to prove himself on the field and is very conflicted right now. He probably waits for the offseason to do a surgery if necessary, and in the meantime ramps up at the end of the regular season for the real-life playoffs. But if you're scrapping for the playoffs, trade him away to the team in 1st or 2nd place. I wish Bucky Irving a speedy recovery, but mostly I'm wishing you guys to check out fansports.com, and I want to help you win your fantasy football leagues. Thank you so much for spending a few valuable minutes of your day with me here. Stay learning. Peace.